everyone, it's Julia Bileski here. I'm an educator, a former elementary principal, a current district leader, and an overall lover of leadership. And I'm also the author of Leading with Grace, Cultivating Hope, Authenticity, and a Focus on People Throughout the Leadership Lifespan. It's been a while since I came on to do a fireside chat, and I'm back again to talk about preventing burnout, which we know Chapter 7 in Leading with Grace is all about preventing burnout and battling burnout throughout the leadership lifespan. I want to talk today about preventing burnout and managing your work-life balance through the lens of boundaries. I firmly believe that the key to work-life balance lies in boundaries. And recently I had the opportunity to present to a large group of women on this very topic, so I thought I would share just a little snippet of what I shared with them with you all through this video. So the very first thing that we need to establish is, what are boundaries? We all know what we think that means, but boundaries are limits that we communicate, we set them for ourselves, and we set them and carry them out through our actions and our communication. Boundaries do not require action from others. That one was a game changer for me. Let's go back and say it again. It's that important. Boundaries do not require action from others. And there are two types of boundaries that we can have when we're thinking about work-life balance. We have hard boundaries, which are our non-negotiables, and we have soft boundaries, which are more aspirational in nature, or they might involve a boundary where we may not always be fully in control. Things may be outside of our control some of the time. And I can give you an example in my work-life balance of a couple of boundaries. So I am fanatical about my sleep. It's very, very important to me. And so to balance my work and my life, I have to have a consistent bedtime. And I'm really, really strong on that. That is a hard boundary for me. It's a non-negotiable. But when I'm communicating that boundary to others, the way I do so really matters. It's really important because, remember, boundaries do not require action from others. So if I stood up in front of the people with whom I worked and I said, "You cannot call me after 9 p.m. You can't do it. Don't call me after 9 p.m." That's not really a hard boundary because I am putting the onus, I'm putting the responsibility on everybody else to give me what I want. Instead, what I can do is communicate, "If you call me after 9 p.m. or if you text me after 9 p.m., know that I won't answer. My phone is on Do Not Disturb, and even if I see the message come through, I'm not going to answer because after 9 p.m., I go to sleep." So it's the same boundary, but the way I communicate it really shows that I'm the one who owns it. An example of a soft boundary that I've used in the past may have to do with when I choose to be on my work computer or to check email. I may set a soft boundary that I am not going to look at work email after 6 p.m., for example, or maybe I'm not going to check email over the weekend. And it's a soft boundary because for me, it's aspirational. It's something that I hope to do or I aspire to do, but sometimes there are factors outside of my control that prevent me from being able to do that. Maybe there's an emergency. Maybe there is a big project that my supervisor really needs me to weigh in on outside of work hours. And so I need to be a little bit more flexible on that. So that's an example of a soft boundary for me. And I think something that's really important to lift up is that boundaries can go both ways when we're talking about work-life balance. I've given examples of how I have boundaries to protect my life from my work, but sometimes I also have to have boundaries in my personal life to protect my work. So an example of a soft boundary that I have in my life to protect my work is, I told you I'm fanatical about my sleep, and I really am. So sometimes, as a rule, I will decline social invitations on weeknights, on work nights, that would get me home past about 8 p.m. I already told you my bedtime is 9 p.m. And so sometimes that means I have to turn down things that sound really fun that I might really like to do. But if it's late on a Tuesday night, then I know I'm not going to be my best self at work the next day, and I'm going to decline. So that's an example of a soft boundary that I have that protects my work from my life. I hope you have found this helpful, and I will make a part 2 of this video to talk a little bit about the process that you can use to identify and establish boundaries in your own life.